It is 3:17 in the morning. Emma is standing in the hallway of her Portland apartment, bouncing her 7-week-old daughter for the 43rd time tonight. She has tried everything: the swaddle, the white noise machine, the feeding, the pacifier, the specific way she holds her left arm that she read about at 2 a.m. in a parenting forum. Nothing lasts longer than 20 minutes. Her pediatrician said it's normal. Her mother said it's colic. Her neighbor said it's just what babies do. Emma doesn't sleep anymore. She survives. Now imagine a different city. Oslo, Norway. January. The temperature outside is -5 degrees Celsius. A mother bundles her 2-month-old into a sleeping bag rated for sub-zero temperatures, tucks her into a pram, and wheels her out onto the apartment balcony. She goes inside, makes coffee, reads for an hour. The baby sleeps for 2.5 hours without waking once. This is not an isolated story. This is a cultural norm. Across Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland, millions of parents put their babies outside to sleep year-round in temperatures that would make most American pediatricians pause. And the research says something that challenges everything we assume about infant sleep. The babies sleeping outside aren't just sleeping longer, they're sleeping better, on a neurological level. A 2019 study published in the journal Sleep Medicine followed infants across 3 Nordic countries. Babies who napped outdoors showed sleep cycles that were, on average, 3 times longer than their indoor counterparts. Their deep NREM sleep phases, the most restorative phase of infant sleep, were significantly extended. The researchers called the effect striking. But here's the question nobody was asking yet. Why? Because the answer isn't what most people assume. It isn't just the cold air, it isn't just the fresh air, and it has nothing to do with the particular hardiness of Scandinavian genetics. What's actually happening involves 3 overlapping biological systems that most Western parents have never been told about, because we've been optimizing infant sleep for the wrong variables entirely. The Scandinavian approach doesn't start with sleep techniques. It starts with something they call Friluftsliv, an untranslatable Norwegian concept that means, approximately, open-air life. The belief that human beings, including very new human beings, are physiologically designed for the outdoors, not away from it. Nordic parents don't put their babies outside because they're brave. They do it because they understand something about infant biology that research is only now beginning to fully confirm. Your baby's brain is not trying to sleep. It's trying to build the architecture that will govern sleep for the rest of their life. And the environment you provide in the first months isn't just a backdrop, it is the curriculum. The first variable is temperature, and this is where Western parenting intuition gets it exactly backwards. Most American parents keep nurseries between 68 and 72 degrees Fahrenheit because it feels safe. It feels warm. It feels like what a baby needs. But the research tells a more complicated story. Dr. Eus van Someren, a sleep neuroscientist at the Netherlands Institute for Neuroscience, has spent 2 decades studying the relationship between body temperature and sleep architecture. His lab's findings are consistent across age groups, including infants. For the body to initiate deep sleep, core body temperature must drop, not slightly, measurably. The body sheds heat through the extremities, hands, feet, the top of the head, and this thermal release is the biological signal that allows the brain to descend into NREM sleep. In a room at 72 degrees, an infant's body works harder to shed that heat. The process takes longer. Sleep is lighter. The transition to deep sleep is repeatedly interrupted. In cooler air, between 55 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit, or roughly 13 to 18 degrees Celsius, the body's heat-shedding mechanism works efficiently. The temperature gradient between body and environment does the work the body would otherwise struggle to do alone. Nordic researchers call this the thermal regulation window, and the outdoor pram environment, even in winter with proper bundling, sits almost perfectly within it. The second variable is sensory input, specifically the kind of sensory input that signals safety to a newborn nervous system. Inside a sealed nursery, the soundscape is artificial. White noise machines, climate control hum, the muffled sounds of a constructed environment. Outside, the soundscape is layered and irregular. Wind, birds, distant traffic, leaves, the ambient texture of the natural world. A 2021 study from the University of Gothenburg in Sweden found that infants exposed to natural ambient sound during naps showed lower cortisol levels post-sleep than those exposed to artificial white noise or silence. The researchers proposed a hypothesis drawn from evolutionary biology. The human nervous system, even a 7-week-old one, is calibrated to read natural ambient sound as a sign that the environment is stable and unthreatening. Silence, paradoxically, can register as a threat signal. In the ancestral environment, complete silence often meant predators had quieted the world around you. The irregular, layered sound of the outdoors communicates, "Nothing is wrong here." The nervous system relaxes. Deep sleep becomes accessible. The third variable is light exposure, and this one has implications that extend far beyond the nap itself. Melatonin, the hormone that governs sleep onset, is suppressed by light and triggered by darkness. Every human being from birth is building a circadian clock, an internal biological rhythm synchronized to the light cycle of the external world. Newborns are born without a fully calibrated circadian rhythm. They have to build one in the first weeks of life. The research on this process is clear. Natural outdoor light, even on overcast days, is between 10 and 50 times more intense than typical indoor lighting. This intensity of light signal, experienced during waking hours, creates a sharper contrast when darkness and sleep arrive. The result is faster melatonin onset at sleep time, deeper and more consistent sleep cycles, and over weeks, a circadian rhythm that locks in earlier and more robustly than in infants kept primarily indoors. Dr. Kristin Aas of the Norwegian Institute of Public Health has studied newborn circadian development for over 15 years. Her research suggests that consistent outdoor light exposure in the first 8 weeks of life creates what she calls a circadian blueprint, a set point for the sleep-wake cycle that influences sleep quality across childhood. Nordic parents aren't accidentally doing this, right? It's taught. In prenatal classes, in public health campaigns, in the cultural inheritance of Friluftsliv passed from generation to generation. The outdoor nap isn't a quirk, it's a precision intervention. The long-term data makes the strongest case. A longitudinal study from the Norwegian Institute of Public Health followed 52,000 children from birth through age 8. Children who had regular outdoor nap exposure in their first year of life showed measurably better sleep consolidation at age 3, lower rates of sleep disorders at age 5, and stronger circadian stability, meaning more consistent sleep and wake times throughout early childhood. The researchers were careful not to claim causation from a single variable. Outdoor napping is embedded in a broader Nordic parenting culture that includes consistent schedules, low stimulation environments before sleep, and a cultural permission for children to spend significant time outdoors across all seasons. But the pattern held even when researchers controlled for parenting style, socioeconomic status, and household structure. Something about the outdoor nap experience itself was contributing to better sleep architecture over time. Swedish pediatrician Dr. Anna Sarkadi, a professor at Uppsala University, has spent years researching what she calls sensory-aligned sleep environments, conditions that match the biological expectations of the developing infant nervous system. Her conclusion is direct. The modern Western nursery, for all its careful design, frequently misaligns with what the infant brain actually needs. To develop robust sleep architecture, not because Western parents are doing something wrong, because Western parenting culture optimized for comfort and safety without understanding the biology it was trying to support. So what can you actually do with this? Because most parents in Minneapolis or Atlanta or Phoenix are not going to put their baby on a balcony in January. And that's fine. Because the science isn't really about cold air specifically. It's about 3 variables: temperature, sensory environment, and light exposure. All 3 can be addressed without ever opening a window in February. Here is what Nordic pediatric sleep research suggests for parents in any climate. First, lower the room temperature before naps. Not drastically. A nursery at 65 degrees Fahrenheit rather than 72 is meaningfully different for infant thermoregulation. Dress your baby appropriately and let the room do some of the work the body is trying to do. Second, introduce natural ambient sound, not white noise exclusively. A recording of outdoor natural sound, wind, birds, rain on leaves, provides the layered, irregular soundscape the nervous system is calibrated. To read is safe. Experiment with it alongside or instead of white noise. Third, maximize outdoor light exposure during waking hours. Not UV exposure. You're not trying to tan a newborn. You're trying to send the circadian system a clear signal. A 20-minute stroller walk in natural daylight, even on a cloudy day, delivers a light signal that no indoor lamp can replicate. Do it consistently, and do it in the morning. Morning light has the strongest circadian anchoring effect. These 3 adjustments will not produce a baby who sleeps through the night at 6 weeks. Nothing will, and anyone who promises that is selling something. But over weeks, they build the architecture, the circadian blueprint that Nordic parents have been building in their children for generations. Emma is still in Portland. Her daughter is 7 weeks old and sleep is still hard. But this week, Emma lowered the room temperature to 64 degrees. She opened the window during the morning feed. She walked the stroller to the park and sat in the early light for 30 minutes. The nap that afternoon lasted 94 minutes, the longest yet. She doesn't know if it's correlation or causation. She's too tired to care. But she's going to try it again tomorrow. If you want to understand why the first year of a child's life is the most critical window for brain development, and what science says about how to use it, that video is right here. What feels most surprising to you, the temperature research, the sound research, or the light research? Tell me in the comments. I'll reply to every single answer in the first 24 hours.